Hi guys, how you doing? Doing another colour along today, and this one's Awake, from Awake, and it's also part of my February Colouring Club pack. And you can also get it from my website as a digital download on rjhampson.com. And today we're going to colour in Look Mum No Hands, which is this cute little ladybird who's riding on a motorcycle. But before I get too excited about colouring it in, I'm going to grab my uni pen, water and fade proof pigment ink pen, and I'm going to add stuff to this bike. I'm going to add maybe some rims. Now I've tried to keep these original illustrations pretty simple because they're a simple and sweet range of books. But I'm not a simple guy, so when it comes to colouring them in, I want to add stuff. So I'm just adding in some rims for a little bit of fun. And I was just also thinking of adding a background to this. Now, my favourite way to add a background is to chuck on a little plate or something round. It's probably a bit too big. Or something a little bit smaller. What have I got? I've got this little tub here. It's too small. I've got this little tub. Oh, little tub's sort of cool. Maybe too small. The plate was probably the best thing. I used to have a really nice compass, but the person I was lending it from asked for it back. I should probably go out and buy another one, but now I just lightly pushed with my pencil because I don't want to get too carried away and wreck the yellow. If I lightly press, I can easily rub it out later on and it won't leave a mark. But for now, let's just start drawing this line out. You could use a thicker nibbed pencil to do this. But I'm not quite sure I've got a waterproof thick nib pencil. Probably one of my Sharpies would work, but I'm happy enough to do this because I know these pens will work really well. And it's not going to take that much time really. Plus it gives me more control. If I have a thick line and I go a little bit off, there's really no coming back from that. Whereas this thin one, I can just sort of gradually build it up. Fill in any little weird divots so that it looks nice and clean. When I draw these illustrations, I use a nice thick brush pen, but I don't colour on top of that brush pen, and that brush pen is water soluble, which means that when I use the alcohol markers on them, it's a blurry tragedy. And none of us like blurry tragedies. All right, I'm just going to, now this is still a bit wet, so I'm being very careful not to smudge my ink. I'm just rubbing that pencil out. I don't have to worry about any other pencil because that's all sort of good. Now I do have a sheet of paper and a sheet of acetate under that page so that it doesn't all bleed through and ruin. Because bleeding and ruin and catastrophes, they're not what we're in for. We're in for a fun time. Now, I can't really go beyond the red, can I? So I'm going to start there because this is Ladybird. So I'm starting with a coral haze and a wine red with my Ohuhu markers. And this is my coral haze, I hope. Yes. I hope you guys have been enjoying the Colour Club idea. I've mentioned it before that it's a great way for me to plan out what I'm going to colour, but also include you guys in it. Now, I want the light to be on the top, so I'm going to do dark. Maybe I should do my dark sort of down here a bit. Now, this is wine red. I'm just trying to add dimensionality in. Now I could leave it just as like a simple key like that, but I do have this desperate need to blend my colours. So I'm going to blend it. I'm just picking up the coral haze again and then just sort of blending that colour in so that it looks like a nice little soft shadow. Lovely. Now I'm in a quandary because do I do this red, do I give him a red bike? Which I'd really love to do because the red's quite striking. I might do that. I was thinking of doing him like a gunmetal grey bike, but I'm not quite so sure. And I've got these legs. Now in real life I think a ladybird is, I think they do have these patches. Maybe we'll add a patch in. They have patches that are sort of beigey on their necks. So I'm going to do more adjustment, guys. I'm sorry about this. I can't help myself. Feel free to add your own adjustments or follow along, add these adjustments. I'm just wanting to make my colours work better and have a more striking illustration. So, all right, I have here warm grey 140. Just going to fill that in a little bit. I think that warm grey is going to work. Now, the temptation is to be colouring him all black, but I don't want to do that. So what I've got is all my cool greys. Got 030, oh that's a green grey. No, wrong grey. What I'm going to do is try and find my cool greys. Here they are. Cool grey 038, cool grey 042. Got a lot of greys because I've got all these engine parts to do, but I've also got his legs and arms to do. So I'm just going to bring my selection pack in and I'm going to look at my cool greys. All right, let's do his belly. I'm sort of imagining the light's coming from behind, so this would be opposite to this, whereas the light would be coming around the front here. So my darker colour I want to have sort of up here, and I want to emphasise those little segments of his belly. I hope you don't have any segments in your belly, but if you do, that's all right. Might mean that you're a little bit insectoid. And I'm going to bring back my lighter colour. Just give that a bit of a blend. So the trick here is, I believe, going to be bringing in the differentiation, so I'm not mixing up my greys. I've got a warm grey 200, so I'm going to use my cool greys and my warm grey. I've got them all ready. I'm going to look, so I want this belly to be a bit lighter than maybe his spots, so if I use the darker colour of the grey that I just used, the cool grey 082, and then maybe add a little bit of a darker from my warm grey 200. Not too much, just a little bit. Yeah, that sort of looks like ladybird spots, doesn't it? I'm going to do the same black around the rest of his neck collar, except for that little part that I picked out, which was beige. That's my cool grey 042. And I'm thinking I might do the segments of his legs in that colour. And give them a little bit of a shadow with that darker one. Oh, maybe not, it's too dark. And I'm going to play with using this warm grey on all the joints. Just because I think if I do it all grey, it's going to look a bit boring. So I'm playing with my colours more than I'm playing with anything else here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make his foot, that same red as I've made his carapace. Just because I think that looks great. I'm going to use the wine red again. I'm not even going to blend it, I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to grab my ink pen again and I'm going to give him gloves because that will let me play with some more colour. So let's pull in this grey. This is the blue grey 042 which I did for his arms, and we'll do them for the front of his legs. And will I do the same thing for his other arm that's holding this thing? I think I will. Right, leather. I'm going to get all my leather done. I'm going to use my brown grey and my walnut. This is a leather strap. These are some fun leather gloves. These are some funny old leather gloves. And I believe that this is a, oh, that's probably a red seat, isn't it? Or whatever colour I do the bike. This part of the seat is leather. So hopefully I can fix that later. If not, we can all have a little bit of shade here. What I might do is grab my colourless blender. Just try and blend that out immediately. There you go. Saved it a little bit. Alright, this is my walnut, and I'm just adding in where I think shadows would be. I'm going to keep them nice and clean, so rather than blend them, leave a nice little stripe where so you can see. I don't think there's anything else that's leather or brown, but there is some more of him that's grey, maybe his face. So I'll grab that cool grey 042, the same one that I used on his legs and arms, and I'll put it into his face. Now I'm going to bring my darker, no, that's a blue grey. Where's my cool grey? See, I told you I'd mix them all up. No, cool grey 082, there it is. Give him a shadow under his helmet there. And I might blend that one just so that it matches his belly. I think that's fun. Let's just keep it simple. But what I will do is go with my two darker colours. So the warmer, my cool grey 082 and my warm grey 200, which is what I did for his neck, for his antenna. So I use the lighter one. And what I want to do is just checkerboard that, so colour the stripes. Oh, wrong one. Alright, let's talk about his helmet. I think his helmet might be green. What do you think? I'm going to go maybe these sort of deep olive green through to mint green light. Deep olive green, mint green light. Which could also be the colour of his motorbike, which would make him a very coordinated and somewhat stylish, if I do say somewhat stylish, ladybird. Alright, I'm deciding to bring that same colour into his bike, so I'm going to give him a green bike. It is a classic bike colour, isn't it? Green. And I sort of liked how I did that there, so maybe we'll emulate that here. And the paper underneath where I did my remedial erasure has got a little bit furry. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to add flames. You don't have to add flames. It gives me another chance to throw in some more colour. Maybe tie those reds back into the green bike. Hopefully that's not a silly thing that I just did. I have gone quickly in with my colour marker, so without letting my ink dry, which could smudge. So I'm being very careful. Alright, this is my deep olive green again. And what I want to do is maybe draw myself a little outline there. Come back in and do a bit of that blending magic. Oh, beautiful. All right, now let's pick out parts of the frame that would also be green. I'm saying this would also be green. This headlight would certainly be green. This mudguard would be green. I don't think that would be. I think that could be all that's going to be green. All right, let's just bring some of that beautiful shading for our deep olive green in. Alright, this is my lightest cool grey. 038, I think it is. Yes, it is. Oh, that's like a little chrome logo to me. I'm going to chrome everything that I think should be chrome with this light colour. I think all of that should be chrome. I think all of this should be chrome. Those wheel rims that I added, they should be chrome. I'm going to do this chrome, but I might darken it up later. That base of the seat, that should be chrome. I think this makes a nice chrome element too. Alright, engine parts. Now I can't confirm that these engine parts actually are real engine parts. So if you're a motorcycle enthusiast, don't be too harsh on my interpretation. Go with the artistic vibe. This is a little bit darker. And I'm just going to add in sort of shadowy bits. Maybe shadows coming out from behind parts and lovely. Now, where are my two dark colours that I was using before for his neck and his antenna and his spots? That is my cool grey 082 and my warm grey 200. I'm going to do, will I do the same for his tyres, or will I mix it up with a bit of blue grey? What's going to happen if I throw that blue grey in? Ooh, it's another colour. Could work. I'm going to try it. Give those cool greys a rest. Blue grey 069, blue grey 170. Give a different sort of colour base to our grey here. Now avoid black at all costs when I'm colouring, so I would never do a black tyre. Just go with your dark greys, and then you can get tones and all sorts of fun variations happening. Whereas if you go with black, that's pretty much it. You can't add any colour, can't add any shadow. It's just a big lump. Unless you want a big lump. Like I think in my one of my last illustrations on the observatory, I used black because I wanted the shadows to really disappear in. So you can use it, just use it advisedly. That's my tip. So now I'm going over this with the darker blue-grey, which is almost looking black. I think when it dries it will be a bit lighter. It won't be quite so striking as that, I hope. Well, put my finger down and it felt wet. That's always the prelude to a smudge. Alright, I'm going to fill in these dark things. I'm also going to give him some dark handlebars, and this foot peg should be dark, I'd imagine. Anything else? Maybe one of these tubes could be dark. Don't want to do too much dark. I'm sort of liking how light it is. We may be finished with the greys, but before I go, I'm going to fill that in Add a bit of shadow to my chromed. I don't know what brand bike this is, but there's a little R there, so. Coral haze. I need an orange to sort of go with my coral haze, don't I? Make that firework. What about a terracotta? Ooh, it's too muddy. What about I'm going to stay away from the fluoros. French vermilion? Yeah, let's do a French vermilion. What could go wrong? All right, quick. Pull that colour back from the brink. With the coral haze. Yay. Maybe do a bit of fade. I'll bring my wine red back in to just darken it up in little spots here and there. Lovely. Right, I need a warm grey. Warm grey 150 maybe. Warm grey 170. Just want to add some shadows to this neck. Ooh, that's a bit darker than I thought it would be. Quick. This is the warm grey 140, which hopefully will allow me to keep my shadow and not have a big black stripe in the middle of it. It's the thing with markers is nothing's irretrievable, I don't think. Well, we're almost there. I think what we need is some spokes. It's an easy way to draw spokes. Draw them at an angle, then come back the other angle. Spokes, haha. That's for free. Drawing tips from Russell. I was wondering about doing some drawing videos. Not sure if you guys are interested in seeing drawing videos or learning how to draw simple things and working your way up. But it has been something I've been toying with. We'll see how we go. Because I've got so much spare time, you know. All right. We need a sky. I'd like to do a salmon pink sky, but I think I killed my salmon pink marker. I need to replace it. Got a rose pink to like a yellow. Could just guess pale blue. What about pale blue to pale violet, pale blue violet? Or pale blue to sky blue. Pastel blue, sorry. Pastel blue. Pastel blue to sky blue. I think that could be the go. All right, I'll start with the pastel blue. I'm just beginning to regret drawing the circle now. I've got to colour it all in. Sorry, pastel blue. Thank you for your sacrifice. All right. I know it's an expected sky colour, but I didn't want to. I was quite happy with this yellow, so I wasn't going to take too many crazy risks. The trick with not getting streaks in your markers is to keep going until you run into an end of a space. So if I stopped and started again, I'd get a big line for some reason. So keep going. Until you run out of space. Phew. Then you can find another little space to colour. Just keep going, filling that whole space. That's an easy space. I think I'm going to leave that just pastel blue. Right, now comes the fun part. We've done the hard work, guys. It's time to bring out the poscas. And I'm going to bring in some silver. I've got my silver arrtx metallic acrylic. But first, let's do some shiny bits. Before I do that shiny bit, I need to find a bit of scrap paper. Make sure I'm not going to blob this everywhere. Alright, I'm going to start from this side and work back because I'm left-handed. And I think I need a really nice line like that there to really emphasize the shininess of our lady beetle shell. I think I'm going to mirror that there too, and also on the helmet maybe. I think we need some shine on those lovely black antennas. So I'm putting the white on the opposite side to the shadow. Oh, this tank could be fun. Maybe some on his little belly, his segmented belly. Just a little bit on his tyres. I'm tempted to do names on the tyres, just for fun. All right, I'm giving up the posca. Put it away, Russell, put it away. But I'm bringing out the silver pen. Woohoo, because what have we got? We've got all these lovely little bits of things that could well do with a little bit of metallic sparkle. Well, it's a little bit, but it's not really adding all that much, is it really? Oh, that's a little bit when it dries. Gives it a bit of shimmer. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring back the posca. I know I said I'll put it away, but I need speed lines. Right, where's my sky blue? I pulled it out before. Oh, let's use my mint green light. Mint green light, I'm going to give him a fun little shrub background. Probably would have worked better with the sky blue. In retrospect, probably would work better with a thick nib. All I might do is chuck my sky blue on top of it. Darken it up a bit. I sort of wanted it to be a shadow in the background rather than There it is. Look, Mum, no hands. Fun. Lots of fun. Well, I enjoyed that. I did add a whole heap in there if you're interested in toying with your illustrations as you colour them and adding to them. Well, I do. I love doing that. So I think it enhanced the illustration a little bit. So once again, guys, I really appreciate you watching, and I will look forward to seeing you in another video. But for now, it's goodbye. See ya.